Hey, live on Pat Soundbites, Unplugged podcast, keeping new music alive is what I do. And man, I've been waiting for this for a long time. I got the t-shirt, I got the backdrop, and I got her on the on deck circle. So happy for singer. Well, I can say certainly singer, songwriter, amazing guitarist, mother of Rolo, Luna, Lucy, I think. She's got her own signature guitar. She's in the Iron Maidens. And my goodness, she just put out her debut album, as you see all over me. Apocrypha. Man, Nikki, practiced for a long time. Apocrypha. And she had a release party. It all came out September 28th. And we're going to talk to Nikki in a second about all of that great stuff. But you know what I do? I always play the video, and her video of Where the Demons Lie rocks. And for me, it's all about the analytics and supporting people like Nikki and her husband, her great husband, Patrick Kennison, and Heaven Below. We'll talk a little bit about that. But right now, time to crank it up because this album is a killer. Check this video out, and certainly please hit the subscribe button to support. Into your eyes, Nikki. I can feel it. Come on back. There she is.
And
she's got all kinds of company. Rolo's got more followers than I do, I think, but that's all okay. You look great. I see. Is that Luna and Lucy behind you?
Luna, and this is Lucy here. They might,
Excellent.
Yeah,
well, great to see you, man.
Here. It's so good to see you.
Oh my goodness. I have been playing this amazing album. I mean, my goodness, Nikki. When you first did this, I got number 44. I think I don't know if you can say it. I got the album number 44 signed. I got the CD. And I remember we talked, and it was great. And you were like, man, I'm a singer. I don't know. Oh, my God. It's like bringing me outside something I've never done before. And look at you now is pretty amazing.
Thank you. It's been a crazy couple of years, that's for sure. We've ventured into many new things. So
you look so. Go ahead, hon.
Oh, that just keeps it interesting for me. I like to venture out and try new things.
You look so confident. Before I get into all of that, I gotta say, and you saw my promo video, the bundle is amazing. I can't applaud you enough for this. I mean, I get a lot of stuff and I buy a lot of stuff to support incredible artists like yourself. But I mean, you went all out. It's personalized, the guitar pick, the magnet, the photos. I got the more Nikki Stringfield and Heaven Below than I do with my buddy Willie Gibbons and ZZ Top. But it's all good. I got Heaven Below, one of my favorite albums. Rest in Pieces. Yeah. I got this guy. I got The Living Room. I got everything. I think you got everything in that bundle but Rolo. But I mean it. You know, you did a really good job. And as a fan, I mean, when you get something like I didn't get like the package that the Amazon guy just throws on my deck. I go, look at this box, nicely done, neat. So thank you. It means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot for people when you spend money, whatever it costs, that when you get something, you go, person really took the time to think this out and do the right thing. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Patrick and I both, we're so thankful that people support music and that we have fans that buy our music and want to buy physical merchandise still, like CDs especially. A lot of people, we don't have CD players in our cars or our laptops anymore, but yet people are still buying CDs. So we really want to make sure that people are happy with what they get. And so, like I said, we're just so thankful that people still support music, because it's rough out there. So thank you.
I don't think I want to get rid of my car because it's got a CD player. I can't
Mine
picture
still has
myself
a CD player. Yeah.
I can't picture myself putting a thumb drive in because I don't know what's on it. I got a million thumb drives, and I'm like, is this Nikki? Is this I am married?
Yeah.
It's like that's why I like this CD. For me to do this type of work, I want to have the product to sell it, to help sell it. Yeah, I'm a vinyl guy too, but I mean, I got a million CDs in vinyl. But anyway, how did you come up with the name? I mean, I practiced this name a million times. And if I've read correctly, like a biblical literature, but I also read it means like to hide away. So where did this come from?
Yeah, so I know you're not the only one. A lot of people do not know how to say it. They've never heard of it. So I had no idea. I just, harmonies for the haunted is quite a mouthful. So I wanted just a one word, easy thing for this new album. And I was watching a documentary or something one night. I can't remember what it was. I like history mixed with weird stuff. So it might have been Ancient Aliens. I'm not sure. But they were talking about the Apocrypha, which is what they call the texts that were left out and forbidden from the Bible. I forget how many there are. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool, the Apocrypha. But if you look at the actual, like the literal translation from Greek means forbidden or forbidden texts. So I thought that sounded really cool. And I was like, Apocrypha. Yeah. And then it kind of sounds like apocalyptic. And I wanted to do an Egyptian type theme because I've always been obsessed with ancient Egyptian stuff. So we kind of did an Egyptian theme with Apocrypha.
Nice. And the album cover is explosive. Whoever did the album work did a great job. I know you're into the scales all over the place.
Yeah.
It looks really great.
Thank you. It's the same guy. His name is Tristan Great Trex, and he's in the UK. He's the same guy who did all of my stuff for Harmonies for the Haunted. He has literally created everything. So like my main logo thing, the skull with the two guitars, he helped create that. He created everything that you see in the bundles, and he's so amazing. He's helped so much. I gave him some of the ideas for this one. I wanted it to be a little darker in contrast to Harmonies. Harmonies has the blue and the purples, so I wanted this one to be more dark with the yellows and the reds and oranges. So
He,
so a huge thank you to Tristan. None of this would be possible without him.
he hit it out of the park. I mean, and why find somebody else when they're doing such a great job like this and you're happy and it's
Exactly.
exciting and then you get that. I mean, yeah, I would not lose his number. The album release party. I mean, you gotta be on edge going, is this really happening? Were you able to play the whole album?
Almost. We did the first 10 songs. So we did No Surrender through Wasting Away. We played all of them. And then we also played some from Harmonies for the Haunted because I had never done a live show electric as a full band with any of my original stuff. We've done some of the songs acoustic or unplugged, but I wanted to throw in some of the older songs too. So it was 13 songs. We did 13 songs. So it
Yeah,
was,
because I remember as Chaos Consumes, like your first single back in
yeah.
like 2017 or so. And I said, well, how I interpreted was you found a home for where the song could be because it wasn't on harmonies. So I said, well, she put it in here because it really fits in well with the album.
Yeah, I a lot of people love that song, and so I felt like it needed to go on a CD, on a full album, and we re-recorded it because like I said that was my very first song that I ever did, so it wasn't the same, didn't have the same sonic fidelity. It didn't sound as good. So we re-recorded it. We pretty much kept it almost same to the original. I think we changed the bridge a little bit, but yeah, I'd had a
Oh,
good
it,
home there. And we
it
did play
kicks
that one.
ass. Yeah, no, I said, man, it's got a nice home. She had it out there, and it kind of fits well. I mean, having Patrick, you know, your husband on your side of the table, and he's an amazing singer. My goodness, I don't think he gets enough credit. I know when I talk to him, he's really humble. He's so funny. He could be a comedian when I watch his stuff on Instagram. He always has me rolling. But to have him had to be such a great advantage for somebody to go, look, you got this. You can do it. Get in front of the microphone, and it had to help so much to prepare to be now in the front of the stage in front of everybody. Although you and Pat have obviously done acoustic shows together, and I think you did one or two shows by yourself when he was on tour, but still for the whole band and everybody to see the spotlight on you, it had to have some advantage to have Pat to be very supportive and give you help on what to do, what not to do. And you've been around, you've seen it. This isn't your first rodeo.
Oh, the acoustic shows, especially if I had not been doing those, because that's in a way more raw, because especially I've done the 3 hour sets by myself, and there's nothing more terrifying or raw than getting up there with an acoustic and just your voice, and there's nothing to hide behind. There's not a drummer, there's not a bass. You're up there by yourself. And so to me, that I told myself, if I can do that, I can do anything. So that helped so much in getting up there and playing. Patrick handles so many of the backing vocals, and so he really takes it over the top, and just recording, like when we were in the studio, I couldn't have done it without him, because he helps with the lyrics when I'm stuck. He does a lot of he added a bunch of the fill guitars and really put a lot of layers to it, so that when we played it live, it sounds full and really brought the songs to life.
Did he help you with the vocals? Go up, go down,
Oh yeah.
when you listen to the album, it's so smooth. Your voice for all the songs, there's no struggle. I mean, I got it. Like, you didn't try to do something different. You know yourself. When you listen to harmonies and then you listen to this, it's all you. You didn't like go into trying to be a screamer. You didn't go into trying to be quiet. You were yourself. I felt you could feel the confidence in you that these are my babies, and it comes off really well.
Thank you. There were some songs that I totally had finished in my head. Like Lunacy was the first one we did vocally, and I knew kind of exactly what I wanted to do on that one. That one was pretty much in my head done. But then it came to songs like No Surrender, where I was kind of like, I'm kind of stuck here. What do we do? And so we really kind of wrote that one together and came up with the melodies together. And he helped so much to figure out the harmony intervals and everything, and kind of was like, oh, try this, sing this harmony like this. So we're really a good team when it comes to the songwriting, and just yeah, we just work great as a team.
And the harmonies are perfect. They're spot on. Both of you is like, you could never tell the difference. I mean, obviously, maybe they cranked up your mic a little higher than Pat's, but when you're both singing together, it's like spotless. So a lot of credit to him. I want to talk about the songs. I mean, the lyrics, your vocals, the guitar riff. I mean, every time I play it, I find a different song that I love more than the other one. I mean, the spell. I mean, oh my God, if I played the spell 100 times, I might have to buy a vinyl from you because the CD's taking a beating. The guitar solo in the spell is like, holy crap, Nikki.
Thank you, thank you. That one, let me see that one. I think we kind of collaborated on that one a lot. I had the solo just kind of came from the idea of the chorus melodies and everything. So I just kind of mimicked the sing along chorus on the guitar for that one, and it's a much more simplified solo, which to me sometimes just the simplified solos are easier to remember in your head, and because you can kind of sing along with them too. So I wanted to change it up in the songs. I wanted more guitar driven songs like No Surrender, Chaos Consumes, stuff like that. And I wanted the more catchier ones too, where it's more just kind of sing along, just easily remember, like easily memorable songs. And the
Oh,
spell is
the vocals, the riff, they have all hooked. I mean, I fell in love. I mean, it gives me goosebumps. Sweet insanity. I'm like, boy, I'm like when you listen to the words and read the words and listen to you sing it, it's like, oh my goodness, somebody, this is a bad, this is like, oh my goodness. It's like, but like I said, it's radio friendly. You could, play all these tracks. I fell in love with that song for a while too. I mean, it's all very good. How did you decide on one of my favorites, Seal Kiss from a Rose? I mean, I was floored. When I first got it and went over it, I said, Kiss from a Rose. I'm like, oh, I got to play that first. I played that first and I go, well, she hit it out of the park. It is one of my favorite songs. And what made you select that song compared to, the millions that are out there that you said that you could have put in?
yeah. I've I've just been obsessed with that song ever since I was little. I love that song. I've always loved singing along to it. And so I've been wanting to cover it for forever. And finally I was like, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna rock it up, make it my own. I went and I looked at all of the covers. Of course, there's a million covers of the song, but a
Right.
lot of them they kind of try to stick to the original. There's so many in Seal's version, there's so many vocal layers going on because it's a very vocal song. And so we decided let's do a lot of guitar harmonies instead of where a lot of the vocals go. So we kind of we wanted to do the acoustic thing at first, where you think it's going to be a softer song and then come in with the harmonized dueling guitars. And we played that one live, and the album release was a day before the actual album came out. And so I could tell, looking at the audience when we played that, when they realized what song it was, they were just kind of, everybody was like, whoa. So, and I thought it would be unexpected, because it's not a metal song, it's not really a rock song. So I figured we could turn it into a rock song. So I love hearing that people were very unexpected, had no
Yeah,
idea.
no. But I think it's good. It shows a different side of you. You don't have to be. I mean, when I thought about the song, I wrote my notes are like, it's a rock album. It's got a darkness and edge to it. It's got an awesome flow. As I mentioned, your vocals, the guitar riff. And yeah, even with Kiss, it fits in. It's not, something that's really out in left field. And I always thought it was I said, man, this could be a difficult song to sing. He takes it when you listen to him singing, but I think you hit it out of the park. You did write when I opened the cover of the CD. This was like, a 3-year journey. Did you have a lot of these done prior to COVID or before even harmonies? Was it on the shelf? Because I know when you said, look, I want to do an album. That's the harmonies. I got to do an album. So were these recent? Were they old? Where did they all come from?
Um, see, Harmonies came out October, almost Halloween of 2019. So pandemic hit, we didn't really get to do much with that since we were stuck at home after that. So most of these songs were written during the pandemic when we were stuck at home. We had nothing to do. We couldn't go anywhere, especially here in Los Angeles. It was I mean, we were on lockdowns. There were riots, there were fires. It was crazy. So it was really a wild time where we had no idea what was going to happen in the future. So lyrically, a lot of those songs came about out of that, just not knowing what was going to happen. The world is crazy, politics are crazy, everybody's going crazy, like Lunacy is just everybody just wants to blame each other, and not ever look at themselves for any kind of blame. um uh, Flesh and Bones, any of these kind of songs really came from that. Sweet Insanity, that one was written a long time ago, and I honestly had forgot about it. I think I went kind of just digging through some of my demos, and I was like, oh, I forgot I was writing that one. So that one had been fully written lyrically a long time ago, past relationship. But besides that one and Chaos, all of them were written pretty much during the pandemic, and touring started back up again before we really got to finish them. So that's what really took a long time was, most of them were skeletons, pieces. But once, I mean, we recorded the drums last year, April or May. And then it really just took the next year to get all the guitars and the vocals and everything done. Because between Patrick and I's schedule, it's hard to find more than 2 days at home together to really get things done. So, but we picked a date and we made it happen. We just picked whatever we did the album release based around the album release show, because we're like, if we don't do it on this date, it's not going to happen this year. But we made it happen.
When you go back, and I'm sure you've listened to it, I mean, when you got it all done, I mean, was there a tear in your eye where you're like, oh my goodness, I actually did this?
Oh man, it's surreal now that it's released, because we've been working up to this for forever, and it's crazy that it's done. I was so happy once it was done. It was really a labor of love, because trying to get the mixes to where you like it, the artwork and everything, just trying to get everything to come together. That's the hardest part. Is the music is the fun part. It's all of the release logistics, especially since I have done it all on my own. We've done it all on our own, and so that's where it's like, okay, well, the music's done. Oh boy, now we got to figure out the release, the getting it up online, the Spotify, getting the CDs printed, trying to make it all happen in one date. So once the album release show is done, we went and we had a bottle of champagne my parents flew out for. We then it was finally kind of like, okay, now we can breathe a little bit.
That's excellent. And then you get sick, right? You're like, I'm so
Yeah.
drawn out and dehydrated from running, doing everything. Everybody wants to talk to you. The pets, the tour, Iron Maiden, back and forth, this and that. And then you're like, it's like a wedding. Like you get married, and the wedding day, you don't even remember it. It's like when we get home, we're looking at each other, go, did we just do this? And then the next day, it's like, okay, we're back. But it's like, the pictures and everybody want to hug you and doing crazy stuff. But I'm so excited for you. Um, and back to the songs, Nikki, really quick. Does it start with the lyrics, or do you just come up with a riff? And between you and Patrick going, let's go this way, let's go that way. I mean, it's not an easy. I mean, people I talk to all the time, artists like you said, oh, Joe Walsh says to me, "Oh, write a song." And I'm like, I can probably write a song. I don't think it'll be famous. I'll think about a breakup 100 years ago. But how was the songwriting process for you guys?
Um, it's different for me for every song. Some, like for example, Where the Demons Lie, I sat down and wrote the entire song musically in a couple of hours. And I had
Wow.
no idea what the vocals were going to be. I was like, well, here's this song. And that usually doesn't happen. Usually I will hear a chorus vocal harmony in my head, and I'll sit down and I'll write the song around the vocals. But so it totally depends on the song. Like Flesh and Bones, I remember I had the riff and I wrote the whole song out musically. So it totally depends on the song. Sometimes I'm inspired by the riff and the music, and other times I write around the vocal melodies in my head.
What do I got here? I got notes. I got this whole piece of paper with notes all over the place. I got to talk to you about, I think I mentioned to you before, a lot of my friends, I'm not a musician, go, you ask gear questions. Well, I know that you got the Schecter signature Nikki Stringfield ASFRS and all that good stuff. I got it. Patrick, congratulations to Pat getting one. So now there's two signatures in the house, which is really cool. Was that the only guitar that you used for the whole album? Or were you able to jump and try different because you knew what kind of sound you wanted to go with a lot of the tracks?
We actually used a lot of different guitars on the album. The meat and potatoes, that was my signatures. So actually this green one here, this was because some of the songs are in standard tuning and the majority of them are in drop C. So this is my main drop C guitar. It was a custom one designed for me before I got my signature model. So this one recorded most of or all of the drop C songs. And then we actually used a bunch of whatever guitars were kind of in Patrick's studio. We used a lot of different ones. There's a picture somewhere. I took a picture with all of the guitars we used. I know we used
Okay.
a Corsair of Robin Sanders. We used a baritone. We used a lot of different guitars to get like different sounds and different pedals and stuff. But we always use our Kempers, but we did use some pedals to get some of the effects like on Flesh and Bones and stuff.
I know you. I got here. You got a show lined up January 28th out in Vegas with John 5. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope she goes out and tours this, but logistically it's got to be a nightmare because Pat with Lita Ford and you with the Maidens are like, yeah, you would love to go out and come to New York and come everywhere, but it's so difficult, right? I mean, that's pretty much the biggest challenge there.
Yeah, and it's not even just logistically. I mean, touring is very expensive. It's the just the cost of gas, the cost of renting vans that I've seen, from the Maidens. It's very expensive, and we would love to go. Obviously, we would love to go everywhere. It's my dream and ultimately my goal to be able to focus on the solo music. So maybe one day. For now, we're trying to fit in solo shows when we can. I have two solo shows in Arizona in December, so we are doing shows when we can. It's just it comes down to a matter of this is all on me. It's my project, so I'm also the financier. I have to make sure I can pay these guys. You know, it's a solo artist thing, so it makes it difficult. Of course, we want to go everywhere, but we have to see what we can work out.
I said to one artist, I'm like, he had, an all-star lineup and the album came out great. And I go, but what do you do for tours? And he's like, I can't put these people in a Super 8 motel. It would cost me, they all got to be in a Marriott in a penthouse suite, and then we all have different bands. And,
Yeah.
pretty much everybody does it just to, hey, I want to try something different, work with somebody, and boom, they got the magic, and it all works out, which is outstanding. We got the Iron Maidens. I know you got a bunch of shows coming up in Northern California. How's Courtney doing? I do follow her on Instagram, and I think she's doing well with what's the name?
Burning Witches.
Burning Witches. And I don't know, I'm not too familiar with the young lady that took her spot.
Well, we're just having subs right now, so we have Shani Kimmelman filling in right now, and she's been amazing. She'll be with us at least through the end of the year.
And
So
any feedback from the girls, like how are little Nikki and Maiden? You're the youngest one. They would always say when I get to see you guys and it's a fun stage. You get awesome feedback from the girls supporting you.
oh, absolutely. Kirsten and Linda came out to the show, of course. Oh yeah,
No
they're
pressure,
extremely.
right? Now you got to see all these.
I know. It's like, oh, this is weird to be playing in front of you guys. But yeah, they're all extremely supportive. Of course, they bought the album, wanted to. So yeah, and Shawnee was there. They were all there. So
Excellent.
yeah, that means the world to me. We're truly like a family.
And I wrote down New Heaven Below. I think maybe possibly came in the package. We again logistically trying to wrap that up. It's a date on the calendar on the wall. If we don't do it, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah. We are looking at a hopefully early release next year. Patrick has a lot of the songs done or close to being done right now. think we're getting into the studio next week in between our gigs for me to lay down vocals and guitars. A lot of the
That's
drums are already done. A lot of the vocals and everything. It's a lot of my stuff. We said as soon as we get my thing out of the way, because it was, it's been craziness. We're gonna go full steam ahead with the Seven Below album. And so it'll probably be out sooner than you think.
I can't wait. I'm excited. Like I said, I think I got them all, but Rest in Pieces is like, wow. I said to Patrick, you guys killed it in this. And you took advantage of the COVID. I remember a buddy of mine, I posted your video of Chop Suey when you guys were in the living room and we all had COVID. And he's a big fan now. He's like, who are they? He's like, it's the best version I've ever heard, and he couldn't thank me enough for putting it out there on Facebook or one of there. I said, "Oh my God, you got to listen to this." And he called me. He's like, "Again, where do I get that?" So, yeah, no. Before I let you go, like I said, it's always a pleasure. Thank you that we're able to finally connect and not be ill. Talk to me about this Writers and Rockers Coffee Company.
Yes, I'm so stoked because I love coffee. I cannot live without coffee. Um, Friend Steve Hill from Canada reached out to me recently about getting in touch with the owner, Robert. And so I've just been in talks with the owner and creator of Rockers and Writers, and they have a great roster of Tracy Guns, Orianthi, many other awesome musicians um, on their roster. And we created a little signature blend. It's 75% dark roast, 25% medium with some Ethiopian cinnamon bark. And it's whole bean. And so when you grind it up, it's got this little cinnamon hints in there. And I believe he just started shipping out orders. Like we just announced it yesterday. So we're really
I
super.
saw that. I'm like, look at this. This is pretty cool. Did they give you a chance to? Did they interview you? Say what do you like? What don't you like? Did they give you samples and you give them a little bit more direction on what your taste what you're looking for out of it?
Yeah. We created it based around like what I like. I like the dark roast. I usually like a little hint of cinnamon in there, so that's kind of what we went with. We went with a mostly dark roast, and it's funny because I went to see what everybody else had done, and it seems like us musicians like our dark roasts.
Nothing
So
nothing wrong with that.
right. So yeah, I'm really excited. I hope everybody likes it because it's good.
I'm sure they will. And I thought it was cool that you went to the processing plant for your vinyl, and I think you got a chance to actually pull the thing down and see your actual project. I mean you walk out of there going, "Did I just do that?"
I wasn't expecting to do that. I was kind of scared. I was like, because I don't think I'm supposed to be allowed to do that. But Liz, the owner of Erica Records, she's amazing and she's so supportive. And her little dog Elvis, I love going there. And they're just it's just such an amazing company. And I just get to drive out and pick up the vinyl and see it and actually get to talk to the people. And they've done vinyl for like any band you can think of. They have all these picture discs from Maiden and any band you can think of, they've probably done it. And so for them to, I thought they were just going to go let me see them coming off the plant, but I was not expecting to get to actually press a vinyl. And I got to keep that one. So she sent me home with that one. So it's really cool that was a crazy experience that I don't think most people get to do. So
Yeah, no, you see the artists, they're always like, "It came in the mail." And you see them unpackage it and they're all excited. And here you are like, "Yeah." I'm like, that is awesome. Well, I think I covered everything, Nikki. I'm like, the pets are good. Patrick is good. The album is fantastic. We talked about the Schecter's guitar. We talked about John 5. And you did say you have dates coming up in December in Arizona. If you want to just say where they are so everybody could
it's December 8th and 9th with my solo band in it's Glendale and Tucson. So outside of Phoenix and Tucson, and I know both shows are opening for the Burning Witches, And I know one of them has our friends in an AC/DC tribute that the Maidens play with a lot called the Jack. So it's going to be a good time.
Oh, I am. Look, I can't get a smile off my face. I am so, so happy for you. Your biggest fan in here in New York, rocking everything that you do, and not trying to drive you crazy. But I mean, you hit
Never.
it out of the park. Go to Nikki-Stringfield.com where you can purchase everything there like I did. I'm so happy. I had to do that promo. I'm like, oh, I got to do this. Like I got
So
stuff everywhere, but not like how you handled it. And to personalize it, I mean, it's like an autograph everything. It's like, as I said before, people times are tough and people want to support. And when you get something like that, you know that folks took the time to do the right thing. And you certainly did the right thing. I hope to see the Maidens back in the Northeast here sometime. You're the last venue that you were at that the sound was, oh my God, I'll never forget that, has been sold. And everybody's fingers are crossed that the new owner will put the money into the legendary venue and get it back to where it needs to be and get you guys back or have you at Daryl's house or any other places that we have around here or New York City. That'd be great.
I hope so. What was that venue again?
It was called The Chance.
Yes. Oh, I didn't realize it sold. Okay.
Yeah, they just sold it. They got a few more shows at the end of the year, and then that's a wrap. But there's a gentleman, an investor that bought a lot of buildings in the city of Poughkeepsie, and they're talking about putting a hotel right next door to the Chance. It was a furniture business that moved. So the gentleman purchased that, so there'd be a hotel right, apparently, right next across when you walk out. And really just trying to clean up a little bit of the city. But the Chance venue, I mean, from Kiss in the early 70s, AC/DC, everybody has played there. It's sadly the owner's sister passed right during the whole COVID thing, and there's nobody really a chance to run it. But it needs a good about $1 million worth of renovation work for the bathrooms and the green rooms and stuff like that. And I remember meeting you to sound check. You guys, you could you like been everywhere, but this was like, we gotta go and I'll catch up to you after the show, which we were able to do. Nikki, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. I hope you enjoyed the crazy chat as we always have.
Always, always. Thank you so much for having with me and working with my crazy schedule.
Yeah, no, I want everybody to go out and buy this. You will certainly not be disappointed. And I'm not saying that because I love what she does, but I'm telling you, this is so, so cool. You put it on a thumb drive. Maybe that's what we got to do, Nikki, is get in the business of putting music on thumb drive because no more CDs, or you can go out and buy the vinyl. And you can also get the vinyl for Harmony for the Horn, number 44. Very proud.
Eightfold vinyl for Apocrypha is coming soon as well. So we're working on
Excellent.
that.
She's got the one that she did, so now she'll let everybody know. I just wish I lived closer, Nikki, because I would be at every show supporting you. And I'm said my best to Patrick. I hope to catch a Lita Ford show and see Patrick. That would be a blast. It's on my to-do list.
Absolutely. He says hello.
Okay, and Rolo and Luna and Lacey.
Lucy. I don't
I
know
got
where
them all. I think I got them all.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed.
Hey, come on. If you're gonna do this, you better know the whole family. Nikki, thank you so much. Have a great, great day. And I'll talk with you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.